Cupid sweet pepper. I've never grown those before. I believe they're like a mini bell, but I'm not 100% positive. What is that guy? What is that guy? Oh man. Hi everybody, welcome to or back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing my June garden tour. I was just watching my May garden tour in preparation for this video, and I'm shocked, I'm gonna tell you, at the difference between that video and what you're about to see in this video. I know that I have been busting my butt working in my garden the last month, but I just didn't realize the amount of work that I have put in. So I'm really, really happy to show you what the garden looks like. And the thing that I am the most proud of is right here, you can see in the background, and that is my garden arch. I now have an actual entrance to my garden. So this is really, really exciting. I got this idea from Tiffany over at Team Benson's garden. I will link her information in her channel down below because I basically followed the exact same steps that she used in her video. So what I did is I got the, I don't even know what these things are called. I guess they're ladders. I don't know. They're, I think they're used in between cinder blocks for reinforcement. I'm not even sure if that's what they're used for. That's just what I think, because at my local garden center, I found them outside in the masonry section, kind of like near the cinder blocks. So I think that's what they're used for. But they were about $4 each, maybe a little more, maybe $4.50 each. And I used 2 of them. And then what I did is I worked with my father-in-law. We drilled some holes in the side of a pot, and we secured the ladders on the inside of the pot with zip ties. And then we brought them out here, and he helped me bend them, and we connected them together with some zip ties. And then I put a brick in the bottom of each of them just to kind of give them a little bit of weight because they were pretty light. And then I filled them with soil and put some plants in them, and that was it. So it was a really, really super simple solution. It's a wonderful addition to my garden. I can walk under it. I'm really excited for the plants to kind of grow on it and start hanging down, like having fruit hanging down. I just think it's going to look really beautiful. So thank you so much to Tiffany. And if you are interested in her channel, like I said, I will link her information down below, and you should pop on over there and see what she's doing, because she's growing some really, really, really amazing and beautiful things in a small space, just like me. So yeah, with that being said, let's head on back to the garden and see what we've got. Okay, so here we are at the entrance of the garden. I've got my arch, which I have planted cucamelons on both sides. They are just starting to sprout up, but I'm hoping that that will look really beautiful as they start to climb, and then those little watermelon-looking fruits will start hanging down eventually, and I just think that'll be a really beautiful addition to the garden. So we've also added gravel in there, and I just think that this looks like a legit garden now, and I'm just really, really, really excited about it. So let's go inside. I'll show you what I've got. Okay, so starting in the back of the garden here, this is my garlic. It is coming along really, really nicely, looking really beautiful. No signs of scapes just yet, but those should be coming in the next couple of weeks. I've got 4 tomato plants. So this first one back here is a Dr. Witchy. This is a Sun Gold. This one right here is a Paul Robeson, and this guy down here is a Verona. And like I said, I do what is called single stemming of tomatoes. So I will be doing a video about that when it's time to tie them up to these poles. But it's not quite time yet. They're gonna need at least their first set of flowers, which looks like the Paul Robeson is just about ready to get tied up. So hopefully the rest of those will put some flowers out soon so I can do them all at once, but no big deal if I have to wait. And then these are my herbs. So I've got some lemon balm and lemon verbena. Use both of those to flavor waters or to make tea. I've got parsley back there. I have purple basil, a regular Genovese basil, and then a Thai basil, which is underneath this tomato plant. So he'll get more sun once I single stem those. And then I've got sage and rosemary right here. Everything in this bed, with the exception of the herbs, I started from seed. So the garlic I planted in the fall. I can link my garlic planting video up above for you. The tomatoes I started indoors from seed. And then the herbs I get from a farmer at the farmer's market that I work for. Their name is Smith's Farm, and they just are fantastic. Their herbs are wonderful, and I love their herbs, so I got the herbs from them. That is an okra plant, which I also started from seed. We've got kale down there, and I think I was having some trouble with caterpillars, but I haven't seen any on here in a while, so I think, as you can see, like, this is all eaten up here. I was having some trouble, but I think I might have successfully fought them all off, so I'm excited about that. Down here I've got some chamomile, and then over here got my peppers. These are 6 of my 12 pepper plants, and I'm still debating whether I should get a jalapeno, because I opted to grow serranos this year instead of jalapenos, but I don't know. I'm thinking that might have been a mistake. I might have to go get a jalapeno plant. But anyway, these are the sweet peppers. These 2 are shishito peppers. This one is a Cupid pepper. I believe those are mini bells. I have never grown those before. I'd have to look at the seed package. I can't remember exactly what those look like, but I think they're mini bells. They might be like longer. I'm not exactly sure. So kind of a surprise mystery pepper for me, which is exciting. That is a banana pepper. Fun fact, back in the day when everyone and their mother had a food blog, I also had a food blog, and my recipe for pickled banana peppers was #1 on Google for a while. Let's see, that one is a cherry bomb pepper, and then those are Melrose peppers. This row of radishes here I had to pull because they were not forming bulbs. I have a couple of theories as to why that was. I don't think it's a nutrient problem, because the second row of radishes here formed just fine. And then I also had some bok choy, which bolted. So I really think it was just due to the weather that we had. So anyway, I've got my French breakfast radishes, which are going to be harvested today. I've got some mustard, which is also going to be harvested today. I have some beets here. And then my sweet peas, which are just taking forever to grow, and the weather is supposed to be getting really, really hot next week, so I'm hoping they make it, because they really do not do well in the heat. So we'll see. And then here, this is my raspberry cane. I picked that up from a neighbor who was thinning out her plants. I don't know anything about raspberries. I popped it into that pot just to kind of keep it alive until I figured it out, and I still haven't done any research about it, but it's looking good. So for now, we'll keep it in there until it either outgrows it or I have to do something with it. I don't know. But anyway, that's a raspberry cane. This is arugula, and then this is my onion pot. So I've got 3 bunching onions, and then in the back I've got some garlic chives and some onion chives. And then I've got a thyme plant here. This little scarecrow my husband built out of garden scraps. So we actually have a place to put him now, which is exciting. And then my daughter's fairy garden. And then down here, my cucamelons are starting to emerge, and these will come. These are climbers, so these will climb over the arch, and then all the little fruits will be hanging down. I had some on this side too that didn't germinate. Again, I think it was the weather, so I'm gonna pop a couple more seeds in there and see if I can get those going. Okay, coming up, let's see, which way should we go? Let's go this way. We'll go backwards. We'll go to the patio. So this wine barrel I'm really, really excited about. What I have in here is I have 2 lavender plants, I have some calendula, and then up there is purslane. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. I picked that up at a local plant sale, and it said it had the highest omega-3s of any green, and I was like, well, that sounds good. Let's plant it up. So I've never had that before. But yeah, that's what that is. So I love this little area because right there is where I like to come out in the morning after I water. I like to sit there and read and drink my coffee and just kind of hang out until my kids get up. So I love that I've got these fragrant plants right next to me there. Okay, so this is my hanging tomato plant. This is a Cherry Falls variety of tomato, specifically designed for hanging pots like this. So eventually these branches will start hanging down over the side of the pot and there will be little cherry tomatoes hanging, and I think I've got some flowers going on right on in there, so that's exciting. My favorite wind chime. All right, let me swing around this way and show you the patio, which is now cleaned up. I've got my 2 mint plants hanging up there. And then on the table here, these are the radishes that didn't bulb, so that's a bummer, but I'm gonna just, I think, saute up the greens. But as you can see, my French breakfast radish looks great. And those were right next to each other, so that's why I don't think it was necessarily a nutrient problem, but I mean, it could have been. All right, down here I've got a little dahlia plant, and then these are also dahlias. I've got some blueberries. I've got my first berry forming right here. Very exciting. More dahlias. This is a ginger plant. This pot I have plans for another video, so I'm just gonna keep that under wraps for now until I film that. And then up here, this is this is trailing Naturstem, so that I just started from seed, so that'll be coming in a little bit. All right, let's head on up to the front. So here, all right, up here, this is a baby bush watermelon. I'm laughing because I don't know, this might be a big mistake, but we're gonna give it a whirl. I've got some lettuces down in these pots here. So these, I have quite a few of them, and they're stackable planters, and this, I think I'm going to transfer my strawberries into those eventually. So my strawberry patch is up here. Got some strawberries ripening, which is exciting, but I just think that I could be utilizing this entire bed better. So I think that if I can get the strawberries into those pots, that this bed can be used for just something different. And then in a moment of insanity, I bought a cucumber plant, so that's this. And I say in a moment of insanity because if you've ever grown cucumbers, you just know how big and wild they are. So we're gonna try to contain him in this pot, but so far he's looking good. And then this here is my hot pepper bed. So I've got, I don't know, hang on one second, I'm gonna go grab my garden journal because I honestly have no idea. I think that's a sport pepper, that's all I know. I'm gonna go grab that, I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back with my high-tech garden journal here. All right, I've got a Thai chili plant here. This second one is a chocolate habanero. These seeds I actually got at a seed swap, and these are heirloom seeds from the Garfield Park Conservatory right here in Chicago. So that's always a very special plant for me to grow, to just kind of keep those going and keep those alive. This is a chili de árbol plant. This is a sport pepper plant. If you are in the Chicago area, you know how important sport peppers are for our hot dogs, so that is what I'm going to be growing there. This is my serrano plant, and then this is a cayenne. Down here is the rose bush that I got from a neighbor. I don't know if I mentioned this in my last video. I may not have, or maybe I did. I don't remember if it was planted or not, but a neighbor was giving this away. I forgot what color it is. I think it's yellow or white. I'm not sure, but you know, we got a little bud, so maybe in the next garden tour we'll find out what kind of rose bush this is. She told me and I forgot. So this is my dill plant, and I'm really excited because I'm starting to see, let me see if I can find one. Here we go. I'm starting to see some caterpillars growing on this. So I saw some eggs on it earlier, and then I came out and I didn't see the eggs, and I was kind of bummed. I was hoping they didn't get all eaten by birds or anything, but now I'm seeing these caterpillars that are starting to grow on there. So probably the end of dill as far as harvesting for me, because these caterpillars, once they get big, will demolish this entire plant. But that's okay. That's part of the reason that I plant dill. Here's another one. So pretty pumped about that. Okay, so let's head up to the front garden bed. This front garden bed I'm really happy about, and I'm really excited about. I mentioned in my last video that we used to have a really big, beautiful tree in front of our house, and the roots were getting into our pipes and causing all kinds of plumbing problems. And because the tree was technically on the city's side of our property line, the city's solution was just to cut it down. And so it was this really huge tree. It was very healthy. It was beautiful. I loved that tree, and I was really sad when I had to see it go. And so we thought about planting another tree in its space, but because the city didn't actually fix the problem, they just cut the tree down, we didn't want to do that because you know, in however many years when the tree gets big, we were just going to be in the same position. And so what I decided to do was to put a flower bed out there, and originally had some tulips in there, and I wasn't sure what kind of plants were going to go in there. And I started some flowers from seed indoors. But then when I started really reading up about pollinators, I really decided that it's important to plant native plants. And so I went to my local nursery and I got a whole bunch of native plants. So this is now a native plant pollinator bed. There are a couple of plants that are not natives that are in there, like I said, that I had already started from seed, but the plan is after this year to remove those and then replace them as well with native plants. So next summer that will be a fully native flower bed. So I'm going to take you up and let's go check it out. Okay, so I'm going to start on this side of the bed because these are the non-natives that I had already either started from seed or got at a local plant sale before I decided to dedicate this bed to native plants. And so these two right here are sunflowers that I got for free at a local plant sale. My daughter was with me and they gave those to her, and I'm fairly certain that these are way too big for this space, but if you've ever been around a 3-year-old, you know she decided to plant them there and she was not going to hear anything else about it. So that's why those are there. This is a stalk flower. Those are straw flowers up there. These are Gomphrias. And then now begins the natives. So this is milkweed. I got that from a neighbor. I think it's a white milkweed, which I'm not super pumped about. I was hoping to get a purple one, but like I said, I got that for free from a neighbor, so that's what I got. This plant is super cool. This is called a spiderwort, and it just has these really delicate, beautiful purple flowers that I love. Everything in here is pretty much purple and orange. Okay, so this plant here is a wild bergamot. I actually really love bergamot tea, so I'm really excited that this is kind of a twofold plant. A, being a native, and then B, being something that I can use to make a tea. That back there is an Ohio goldenrod. This one is a purple prairie clover, which I've got the tag. I don't know if you can see, but it looks really cool. So kind of excited about the way that one will bloom. And then this is hyssop. Also can make tea out of that. This is an aster. And then this is a black-eyed Susan. So kind of the plan next year when I get those out of there, I think I'm going to plant some cone flowers and maybe an additional milkweed. I don't know, we'll see. So that's what my garden looks like right now in June. I'm really excited that I'm at this point in the season where I have everything planted, kind of the major projects are done, the major hard work is done, and I can just sit back and maintain it, water it, harvest it, and enjoy it. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you back here next month with another garden tour. Bye.